wow. So we just watched what we just taped, and ooh, a lot of mistakes.
A lot of mistakes.
So instead of refilming it, because we're lazy, we're gonna make a drinking game out of it.
Yay! Every time Ashley touches her hair,
Drink.
every time Mona forms a new word by using 2 other words,
Drink.
every time Ashley inaccurately describes a character by the wrong name,
Yeah, take a drink.
you're gonna get drunk, people.
Enjoy.
Yay!
Everybody.
Hi, howdy.
So we're on our third episode. Get into business.
Yes.
This episode is dedicated to the wonder, the wonderment, the amazingness, the awesomeness that is Firefly and Serenity.
This is such a beautiful moment.
Hold it together, woman. We've got a lot to talk about.
Right. Sorry.
Since our last episode ended very shortly, and we weren't able to go into great detail.
It's a travesty! A travesty that we did not get to go into detail.
No more drinking for you.
Ah.
No. Okay, so this episode is going to cover, in detail, everything you wanted to know about Firefly and Serenity.
Whether you wanted to know it or not.
It's true. So the first things first. We're going to give you just kind of a brief background to Firefly, so the people who haven't...
What? We're not giving a brief background? Everyone has seen Firefly.
Well, but I just thought maybe there'd be some person...
No. If you have tuned into a TV link called Two Geeky Girly Girls and you've been watching it for, what, about a minute now, and we're not stripping, and you're still watching, you're a geek, and you have watched Firefly. Move on.
No background, people. Seriously, how many of those have you had?
I don't know.
Okay.
Since this is a big deal, Ashley and I had decided we would pick 2 of our favorite Firefly episodes to share with you, the viewers, because I'm sure you'll agree, because they're excellent episodes. The first one I picked is my favorite. It's called Objects in Space. River and Simon have been on the ship for a while. They're fugitives from the law. And one night when the whole crew is sleeping, a really bad, extremely disturbed bounty hunter sneaks onto the ship. His name is Jubal Early.
Okay.
And he's played brilliantly by Richard Brooks and very disturbed. And so he sneaks on to kidnap Simon and River and take them back to the Alliance to collect on the big bounty.
Okay.
Now, first thing to know when you're about to go and sneak up on a psychic,
You can't.
she's a psychic, people. She knows you're coming. So we, of course, see him boarding the ship, and as he boards the ship, River wakes up, and then she's gone. We don't see her anymore. And she begins taunting him through the ship's loudspeaker, basically saying she's melded into the ship and she's part of Serenity now and she's not happy he's there. While River is screwing with this guy over the intercom, she is talking to the crew in their quarters that they're locked in, working out a plan. And so he finally figures out that, cause she's telling him all this secret stuff about him, about the bounty hunter, like, oh, you know, you and your grandmother lived at this one house and the dog never liked you and whatever. And he's like, you're not in my head.
You're on the Goram ship.
So she has snuck onto his ship when he was sneaking onto her ship. Brilliant. So he starts heading off for the ship, and Simon tries to stop him and gets shot. Way to go, Simon. River has a plan, you idiot. So he gets to he's about to board the ship, he's in his spacesuit, and all of a sudden Mal is there, because of course
Mal saves the day.
River has let him out, and he kicks the guy out into space. Literally kicks him right off his ship, and the guy goes floating out into space.
He has a spacesuit on, but he's kind of screwed.
He's still kind of screwed.
Yeah.
So, and then that's the end, and then it shows River kind of floating down from the other guy's ship onto their ship, and she asks for permission to board from Captain Mal, which is sweet, because in episode 1, she is smuggled onto his ship without him knowing, and so this is her way of kind of getting the okay to be part of the crew, which makes it a great episode.
Okay, so the first favorite of mine is the message. You probably didn't see it because it wasn't a part of the actual ones that were aired. It was a part of the DVD set. So, it's good. Let me explain to you why it's so good. You'll understand. You'll come to my side. So,
does your side have cookies?
It does.
Okay, go ahead.
So have you ever had that awkward moment when you're walking to the mailbox and you're really excited because your most recent eBay purchase is going to be there, and you open it and instead of seeing fake hair from China, you see a dead war buddy who has, you know, shipped himself to you and then requested that you send said corpse to his parents. The war buddy actually isn't dead.
Oh!
He's a zombie, if you will. No, actually, he's not. He actually just kind of made himself appear dead so that he could smuggle the genetically enhanced body parts he now has in him. There are bad guys who want the body parts, and there's a lot of fighting and quirkiness, and then, you know, so Mal saves Tracy.
Oh,
the
is that
war
his
buddy.
name?
The war buddy, yeah, Tracy. He saves him from the bad guys.
Yes.
And then he shoots him and kills him.
Well, understandably, because Tracy held Kaylee with a gun as a hostage.
There was reason. There was reason. But it's kind of a bittersweet episode for me because at the very end, they actually do take his corpse back as he requested. They take it to his family and they're all kind of standing around the corpse. But then I found out that it was actually when the crew found out that the show had tragically been canceled. And so it's kind of sweet because they're all gathered.
Real tears.
I kind of think that the emotion was really real. So for me, it's one of my first favorites.
Thank you. Now, my second favorite is a great one. It's called War Stories.
I totally agree with this one.
It's a great one. The reason it's called War Stories is because, as we all know, Captain Mal and his first mate Zoe, who is kick-ass, were in the war together, and so they have a lot of great old war stories. And the only problem is that this can make her husband, Pilot Wash, a little jealous. You know, they have these great history that he doesn't have with her. So on their next gig they have, where they have to take some items that have fallen off the spaceship to sell at this one planet, Wash demands that he goes and not Zoe, because he wants to have his own stories to share. And so bad things happen, and they end up getting kidnapped by a very, very bad crime lord named Niska, who they have ran into in a previous episode, who they actually kind of screwed in the previous episode, and he's back for revenge.
He's a mean man,
He's
people.
so mean. So he takes Mal and Wash onto his ship, and he tortures them, like, bad. And sadly, that's my favorite part, because, not because of the torture, which is really hard to watch, but because to keep Wash from breaking, because you can tell, I mean, they're being electrocuted, it's awful. Mal, like, tries to pick an argument with him to try to keep his mind off of it. So he says, you know, I never wanted Zoe to marry you. And so that gets Wash all riled up. And Mal's like, and you think that we slept together? And Wash is like, no, I know you guys didn't sleep together, because if she slept with you, she'd see you're no big deal.
In fact, I want you to sleep with her.
I want you to sleep with my wife. And Mal's like, okay, I will. And then at one point, like, Wash starts, like, passing out, and Mal's like, hey, I'm going to sleep with your wife. When we get back to the ship, I'm going to sleep with your wife.
I'm going to take her in a manly fashion.
It's so funny. But it's sad because they're being tortured. But in the meantime, Zoe has gotten up the ransom money and has brought it there to exchange for Mal and Wash. But Ziska, being the ass that he is, has told her she only has enough money to take one of them. And so he thinks he's being all mean, and like she's going to have to really struggle to make her choice.
Make it worse.
And everybody's going to feel awkward. But like before he's even finished the sentence, she's like, I'm taking Wash. Duh. It's her husband.
Heartwarming.
Of course. So, you know, and there Wash learns that she will choose him over the captain when they're being tortured. And they need to take only one. And the crew has developed this whole rescue plan that they're going to go and rescue Mal, and they all disappear. They all take off to go rescue him. And in the meantime, Kaylee and River are left on the ship to kind of protect it. Well, mainly Kaylee, because River's woo. So, but Kaylee kind of wusses out, and she drops her gun and runs away.
Dude, she's Kaylee.
I don't care. You protect your ship, Kaylee.
True.
Protect your ship.
No excuse.
No excuse. So in the meantime, so she's hiding, and River walks out. So River looks over and sees a gun and picks it up and looks around the corner and sees all the bad guys and looks at Kaylee and smiles and steps out and boom, 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 shoots them all.
Actually, she kind of just went gangster style.
She just went gangster on them with her eyes closed. But like she kills them all dead, one shot each. And then she turns to Kaylee and says the greatest line ever. And just like nonchalantly, no power in the verse can stop me.
That's really creepy, actually.
Dude! I mean, this is the first time we ever see her fighting and blowing things up, and now she's...
you've always seen her comatose and kind of crazy. And
rocking in the corner, and she just went gangsta.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite episode.
So my second choice is Out of Gas. So this episode has a ton of information. Mm-hmm. It's told from 3 vantage points. Mm-hmm. There's the past, which kind of tells everybody how they got together.
Yes.
The present, and then a little bit later present. Not so much the future, but a later present. So I'm going to give it to you in bullet points.
Ooh, I like bullet points.
Bullet points are helpful, I think.
Wing it at me.
Okay, so Mal and Zoe get a ship.
Oh.
A lovely ship. There's a touching moment between the crew, and there's laughing, there's stories.
Boom!
Ooh, big fire. Really big fire. Zoe saves Kaylee.
Out of the way,
She pushes her out of the way. But now Zoe's hurt, and she's kind of in a coma and kind of dying or whatever. So there's like this like tension between Wash and Mal.
Well, his wife's in a coma, and you want him to go fly his ship.
True. We find out that, well, I mean, we knew, but we find out how everyone finds out that Kaylee is a mechanical genius.
Smart.
There's the callback button, which is kind of this cute. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
So then there's some serious tension between Mal and Zoe.
Well,
sexual tension.
Sexual tension.
Then there's this really really touching moment between Mal and Jane. It lasts for all of 4 seconds.
No sexual tension.
No sexual tension. Then the crew leaves the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Mal's all alone. There's this really big needle with Mal and adrenaline and just. And then Jane defects. He gets his own bunk. It's nice for him. It happened in the past.
That's how they got him on the ship,
Yeah.
basically. They offered him his own bunk.
And like 10% or something? I don't know. And then Mal gets shot. Mal kicks ass. Mal's fixed his ship.
Yay!
Yay! So he tries to call the ships back with the callback button. And then he just collapses feet from the callback button.
Inches, really.
Inches.
Dramatic.
So then all of a sudden the captain wakes up. And he's in the infirmary, and he's looking, and everybody's around him, and it's all happy.
Yay.
And so then there's this touching moment between Mal and Zoe, and, or Zoe's like, yeah, we came back because, I was like, why did we leave Mal?
She came out of her coma going, what the frack, people?
Yeah, seriously. And then there's this really great moment between Mal and the crew. He wakes up, and the doctor's like, he really needs to sleep, and she's like, okay, yeah, probably. And then he kind of looks at everybody and goes, y'all be here when I wake up, right? And it's so cute because he loves everybody that's on the ship.
He loves his crew.
And it was
cute. Sweet. Because he's such a badass. And then for him
is.
to be all like, you're all going to be here, right?
Aww.
I love that. That was my favorite part. So good pick. Well done.
Thank you.
So as you can see, Firefly is amazing, which just kind of makes you wonder
What the hell, Fox? Seriously, what the hell? There's this amazing show. There's all these great people. It's in space. It's a Western. There's Chinese swearing. Really? What is wrong with you?
Drink your drink.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well, as you can see, there were many Joss Whedon fans who were extremely upset that Fox not only canceled this great show, but canceled it right in the middle. I mean, they did release the DVD pack so you could see all the episodes that you didn't get to see aired, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah. And you had no closure.
They actually, though, did have closure. 2 years later, but they made Serenity the movie.
Best movie in the history of all movies, people.
Agreed. And it gave us all the closure that we needed. Although, a little too much closure.
Prepare yourself, people. We're going to spoil your brains out. We get to find out why River is crazy. And she has a good reason. She does have a good reason why
We
get to see her more of the gangster side
Oh,
of River.
yeah, the
We
gangster
get to see
River
her
comes back.
kick serious Reaver butt.
What?
Serious Reaver butt.
Look at her. 2 swords, people.
And Kaylee and Simon kind of finally get it on.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? We're actually going to reenact that little part for you in the movie because it's adorable.
Oh,
okay.
when they decide that. Okay, yeah, okay. Who am I playing?
You'll be Kaylee.
Oh, yay! I'm the
Okay.
girl.
So, the only thing that I regret the most is we couldn't be together.
You mean as to say sex?
I mean as to say,
Well, screw this. I'm gonna live.
and scene.
Alright, so as you can see, there is a plethora of excellent one-liners and back-and-back commentation that just keeps you laughing through the whole movie.
Yes, it's awesome.
Mhm.
But,
Oh, God. Go ahead. Like a Band-Aid, just rip it off.
wash and book die, people.
No, why, Joss? Why? They're my favorites.
Okay. Mr. Whedon had a very good reason. He wanted the entire audience to think that the crew was going to bite it. That the whole crew was going to die.
But Wash! I mean, he was a leaf on the wind, man. And what about Zoe? What is she gonna do without him?
Oh, you know what's going to make you feel better?
What?
Mandarin swearing.
Ooh. I do like swearing. And I like it when it's in another language.
It's fun. Okay, people, we're going to give you Mandarin swearing 101.
Yay!
Shaw Mow Wow.
Ooh, nice. What was that?
Panda urine.
Panda urine.
Yeah.
Very well.
So the next one.
Mhm.
Shashen Cow Wow.
Whoa. I like it. What was it?
Holy Testicle Tuesday.
Holy Testicle Tuesday. I'm
Brings
putting
the-
that on Facebook.
It
next
brings a
Tuesday.
whole new meaning to Tuesdays.
I know. Come gives a little. Alright, so now maybe we should give a little spoiler
Spoilers.
for what our next episode is going to be about.
What?